So you've decided that cooking is the way to go. You want to skip that takeaway night every now and then, and you have some recipes and cookbooks that you've been intending to use for a long time. Well, all you need is probably some basic tools and equipment in order to set you off on your cooking journey. Well, in today's video, we're gonna do just that, so you are on the right channel at the right time. So make sure you stay around till the end because we're gonna go through all the equipment, all the basic equipment that you need in order to start your cooking journey. I just want to say right from the start that I own all this equipment, so nobody's sponsoring this video. But if you want to help this channel, make sure to check the affiliate links down below. It's not costing you anything extra, it's just helping the channel to produce more content like this. Now, in some situations, you're not going to find the exact items that I'm talking about just because they might not be in stock, because some of them might be using them for years. But don't worry, because I'm going to recommend some great alternatives, stuff that I either used in the past or I trust. Now, with this out of the way, let's get into some kitchen equipment. You need a knife, and a chef's knife is probably the best way to start. It's a universal knife that you can use in daily basis. 8-inch blade is probably perfect for beginners, not too short, not too long, just perfect. Invest some money into it because it's going to be with you for a long time. You're going to be using this for chopping, slicing, dicing, and all sorts of things. Buy something that feels comfortable into your hand and feels right, and you're not going to regret it. So you have a knife, but you need to sharpen it. Well, you need the sharpening steel. This is a plain sharpening steel, nothing really complicated. It's the one that actually came into the set, but you can buy it separately if you want to. Nothing really fancy as mentioned, but if you want to go all the way, you can probably get something like a diamond sharpening steel, which, to be honest, I wouldn't buy it right from the beginning. You need to know how to use this first and after get into the diamond one, because that's costing probably like 5 times more, and it's just kind of wasting money if you don't know how to use it properly. So you have a knife, you can sharpen it, and you need the chopping surface. Well, you need a chopping board. And I'm recommending a wooden chopping board. This will prevent your knife from dueling. Don't go for something like glass or marble. This will just ruin your knife. I wouldn't really suggest that. Now, on top of that, you need to have a big surface. Big surface chopping board is probably recommended. I would say this will make your life a lot easier because you can chop a lot of stuff in one go. Although I have some smaller ones, I don't really use them that much. Bigger is better in this situation. Consider buying a wok. This is like the chef's knife, is absolutely universal. You can use it in so many situations, from frying, deep frying, shallow frying, sauteing, and you don't need to make Chinese every day in order to have a wok, because I actually don't, but I use it in so many situations, and it's absolutely amazing to have a wok and knowing that you can have a pan deep enough that you can rely on it in no matter the cooking that you do. To be honest, it's probably great getting it non-stick because this way you can do scrambled eggs, omelets, and all that kind of stuff that you don't want to get it stuck to the pan. Get a wok. Get a pepper mill. Why a pepper mill? That's because cooking with freshly grounded black pepper, you're gonna get full aroma and flavor when it comes to pepper. It's like getting a freshly grounded coffee early in the morning, something that keeps you going throughout the day. Not that I drink coffee myself, but this is something that people told me and I kind of believe them, although they need 3 or 4 in order to stay awake throughout the day, but that's a different story. So you have a wok. Congratulations. I really hope that you use the link down below to buy it, but on top of that, you need saucepans, and what the saucepans are used for are in situations where you need to make sauces, or you need to boil vegetables, or you need to boil pasta, or all that kind of stuff. Now, depending on your needs, they can come in different shapes. Well, shapes are pretty much the same, but the sizes are definitely different. You can either buy one, something like this would be probably suitable just because it's kind of in the middle, but you can definitely go for something smaller or bigger, or you can even consider buying a set so you are fully covered. But let's say that you have friends coming over or some of your family is excited that you're cooking, and now what are you doing? Well, you need something bigger, something like a pot. Let's say you need to boil vegetable, pasta, and all that kind of story. Whoa, I was just about to drop it. So this is kind of suitable for your needs, and a size like this, or you can buy even bigger if you want to make veg stock, chicken stock, and all that kind of stuff. But this is great because it comes with a lid, same like with the saucepan. And once you get the lid on, all the boiling is going to happen a lot faster. So consider buying a pot or a saucepan. So let's put it this way. You are trying to make a salad and some bread dough. And because I said that the wok is universal, you are using your wok to make your salad and the dough. Well, it's not that you cannot use them, but this is going to make you kind of weird, my friend. And I would highly suggest to use a bowl. Whether you are going for stainless steel or you are going for something like Pyrex or durable glass, that's definitely a good alternative, or even plastic in worst case scenario. I wouldn't really go for plastic because if you use plastic, you're kind of limited. Plastic is not really good in the kitchen anyway, but I still have some plastic stuff around, so yeah, you probably can, but try to go for something stainless steel or something like durable glass so you can use your bowl for bain-marie if you need to. A vegetable peeler. And why do you need a vegetable peeler? Well, that's because this is highly economical when it comes to peeling vegetables or whatever you need to peel. You're only gonna remove a very thin layer on the outside and you're gonna get great results doing this. Well, of course you can replicate this using a paring knife or in worst case scenario a chef knife, but bear in mind that the results will be completely different. This is very consistent and I would definitely recommend a vegetable peeler into your kit. A grater. And why do you need a grater? Well, that's because at some point you'll end up grating some cheese like Parmesan cheese or vegetables or anything that needs to be grating. And this is absolutely perfect because it's got multiple surfaces and you can use it depending on your needs. And try to go for something that's kind of a good quality so you don't need to replace it every 2 months. But at the beginning, I wouldn't go over the top with any brands that are absolutely crazy. I've got some expensive ones that I use, but at the beginning, try to get something like this, multiple surfaces, and will definitely do the job. Thermometers, you're gonna use them a lot, especially at the beginning. In some situations because of uncertainty, and in others because the recipe says and you're kind of following all the way through. Obviously, when you're further in the journey, you're not gonna need a thermometer to tell if a steak is cooked right or if the lukewarm water is at body temperature, because you're gonna be able to tell right away. But until then, use thermometers to ensure that you get great results. And don't get me wrong, even after that, you're gonna be able to use them, so it's not something like an investment that you're gonna chuck in the bin once you know how to cook, because thermometers are great, so you're still gonna be using them for a long time. Scales, kitchen scales, you're gonna be using these a lot, pretty much the same situation as the thermometers. At the beginning, you're gonna be measuring a lot of stuff and you're gonna go through a lot of measurements. In some situations, you might measure even carrots, which for someone experienced might be, this is stupid, but don't worry about it. If you need to measure carrots, if you're not sure what you're doing, measure carrots. And after that, further in the journey, you're gonna know when you need more or less or what are the quantities just by looking at them. But that's coming with experience, and if you like desserts, my friend, then you're gonna need this a whole lot and you're gonna be using it pretty much in daily basis. Because with the dessert, you can't really play by the ear, same as I do sometimes with cooking. Today I like a bit more salt, tomorrow I like a bit more pepper, and it just works because it's my taste. With desserts, you need to be a bit more precise, so if you like desserts, not like me, you're gonna need scales and you're gonna be using them. You're gonna be using kitchen scales a whole lot, so make sure you buy one. Buy one either way, actually. Trays, kitchen trays. I don't think anybody can question the importance of trays when it comes to baking, roasting, and any of that stuff. Well, if I was to recommend one tray out of many others, because obviously they come in all sorts of shape and sizes, and I've got quite a few, would be this one. This has been with me for probably like 4 years, and I've been using this a whole lot. As you can see, it's got a lot of wear and tear. It's been through a lot, but it's still going, and it's something that is kind of universal because you can roast in it, you can make bread if you want to, you can do all sorts of things, so make sure you get some trays. Something like this will be probably perfect. If it's your first tray, buy something like this. Sieves or strainers, something that I've been using for a long time when it comes to sauces. Let's say you need to pass a stock, you need to sieve some flour. Well, this is when these come in place and are absolutely amazing, and they do a great job when you need to remove any impurities or anything that shouldn't be there. I would say that you don't need to invest a whole lot to get something like this. They are pretty cheap, and I've been using this for years and years and it's still standing. So I'm gonna leave some links down below for something that tick all the boxes. So now that we've been through pots, pans, knives, and all sorts of equipment, how do you mix your food when you actually need to stir or mix or whatever you're doing? Well, you need something like this, because this will help you handling food and moving it from one place to another and making sure that it doesn't burn or whatever you're doing, whatever you're mixing. You need something like this. You have spatulas, you have ladles, you have whisk, you have brush, and what else? You have tongs as well. So everything that you need is in one go. I will actually recommend getting everything in one set because they are kind of affordable. I wouldn't go for anything separate. Get everything you need in one go and you're good to go. If you're using non-stick pan or non-stick pots, make sure you get something coated in silicone or use something wooden if you want to. That's another option, but those might be a bit more expensive. Although this is kind of half wooden, half silicone. These are pretty cheap. Get them in a set and off you go. You don't need to worry about after that. Now, all this being said, make sure you check the links down below for everything that I talked about so far, and I'll see you in the next one. It's been a pleasure to guide you through this cooking journey, and I really hope that you really enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.